All right, welcome back. All right, so the last video we talked about expressions and equations. Well, now today I'm going to show you how to add and subtract equations to find the variable. So remember, an expression is x plus 5. An equation would be x plus 5 equals, let's say, 12. X is our variable. A variable is a letter or a symbol used to represent a number. So we're going to find out what that number is. In order to find out what that letter represents, we can apply an opposite or an inverse operation. Let me show you what that is. An inverse operation or an opposite operation would be when you add, the opposite operation would be subtract. If you're subtracting, the inverse operation or the opposite operation would be to add. Likewise, when you multiply, the opposite or inverse operation is divide. And then, obviously, if you divide, the opposite would be to multiply. So let's go back to our equation. We have x plus 5 equals 12. So we want to solve for x. So when we think of an equation, we want to think of a balanced scale where both sides of the scale have the same value. So on this side I have 12. So on the other side, whatever operation and numbers are compiled here should equal 12 as well. So we use the inverse operation. So let's do that with this equation. We have x plus 5 equals 12. So we have added 5 here. So I'm going to use the opposite, and I'm going to subtract 5 from this side. And because we have a balanced scale, when I subtract from this side, I'm going to also subtract from this side. Well, we know positive 5 minus 5 is 0. So I'm just going to bring down this x. I'm going to bring down my equal sign. And now I have 12 minus 5 is 7. My x is equal to 7. So let's go back. Let's substitute my x for 7. So if I plugged in 7 here, I would get 7 plus 5 equals 12. Is that correct? Yeah. So this is how we solve for that variable. This is the solution. X equals 7. When we plug it into this equation, it makes it true. Let's do another one. This time, let's do x minus 5 equals 3. So, let me separate those two. Okay, this is another example. X minus 5 equals 3. So, I want to get x all by itself on one side like we did up here. We moved the number over to the other side of the equation, and we left x by itself. So we want to do the same thing here. Now we have x minus 5 equals 3. So this time we're subtracting. So the opposite operation or the inverse operation of subtracting would be to add. So now let's add 5. Whatever I do to this side, I need to go onto the other side of the equal sign and add also 5. So when we do that, we get left. These cross each other out. Let's bring the x down. Equals 3 plus 5 is 8. It's kind of a crazy 8. So the solution that we came to is x equals 8. So if I plug in 8 And for x, let's see if it makes the equation true. 8 minus 5 equals 3. Let me rewrite that here. 8 minus 5 equals 3. That's correct. So my solution is x equals 8. Let's do one more example of these. X minus 6 equals 2. Okay, I want to get x on the side all of this equation all by itself. So I have minus 6. So we're going to do the inverse operation, or the opposite. So I'm going to add 6 here and add 6 here on the other side. The minus 6 crosses out because 6, this is technically negative 6 plus positive 6. So I'm left with x equals 2 plus 6 is 8. X equals 8. Let's plug in 8 for x. Now we have 8 minus x equals 2. That's correct. X equals 8 is my solution. So you're going to see problems with decimals, and you're going to see problems with fractions, and you're going to do the very same thing. You're going to take, we're just doing adding and subtracting today. So if it subtracts in the equation, add. But don't forget, whatever you add to one side of the equal sign, you have to balance it out on the other side and add it to the other side, to the number on the other side of the equal sign. So then we're leaving x by itself. You're also going to see in the assignment 2 problems where you have to develop an equation like we did on the last assignment. Those are going to be a little tricky. I just want you to try your best. Read carefully the word problems and look over the equation. Look over your choices and see which one makes more sense. Now that's going to take practice. These developing your own equations are going to take practice. So I only put 2 problems, but I do want you to try those. So from here, I want you to go ahead and do the assignment. There's 10 problems. Do your best. And we'll talk about them. If you're a little bit confused or you're still struggling, that's okay. We're just starting this, and it's going to be a process, and we're going to get more instruction when we get back to school. So do what you can. Write down your questions or add them in the comments. I would love to hear the questions that you have so you don't forget. And I'll be on to help you out with your assignment if you need it. All right, have a good day.